Здравствуйте, мои дорогие! Меня зовут Татьяна Шерстнева, я директор компании Textile Pro. Сегодня мы берем интервью, и у нас очень интересная гостья. Ее зовут Мими Чатерджи, это дизайнер из Индии. И интервью сегодня будет на английском. Это очень волнительно для меня, потому что это впервые в моей жизни. Поэтому прошу заранее простить меня за какие-то ошибки в английском языке. Вот, итак, мы приступим. Mimi, please introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us where are you from. So how come you work in textile industry and that?
Okay, first thanks to you for calling me. And as you said, I'm from India and I have into textile designing for last around 12 plus years. And I pursued textile designing after finishing my graduation with English literature major.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then literature. Yeah, but honestly, from my 6th grade, I was kind of very sure that I'm going to study designing. I was not though sure about what kind of designing, but yes, I was very sure that I'm going to go into the fashion industry for sure.
Okay. As you said, you always was like creative person, right? So, but why textile designing? You could be a furniture designer, or I don't know, interior designer, or whatever. Why textile designer? So, why it's interesting for you?
Well, that's something really funny, maybe sometimes, because I think as a child, I always wanted to draw patterns. It was always there. There was some doodles on the back of each of my notebook, and yeah, like as when I used to go to the art class and something, people used to ask me to draw the landscape, flowers, all these things. But the most what I really enjoyed, that drawing a motif or a pattern or something very intricate with the lines, and that's how I developed. I used to think about patterns, and then I used to develop the intricacy of it, and then filling the color. So when I was introduced to textile designing, I thought this is the perfect choice for me, because here I can see my patterns flowing on the body, which is kind of wonderful. And that's why I selected textile designing mostly.
So, I have a friend who is also a designer, lives in Los Angeles. She said absolutely the same story. I think it's designers that is some absolutely people with different blood, maybe, or DNA or whatever. Because she also said she loved drawing, like draw since childhood.
Yeah, it's like doodling. It's not more of painting stuff. It's more of doodling, where you can actually making the patterns and lines.
Yeah. And she said, like, if she come back from school, she start to draw.
Yeah.
And now she's works as designer. Then she come back from work, she continue to
same
draw.
here. Yeah. Every day I feel like I really don't know, but every day I feel like I should do at least one doodle in a day. Otherwise, I feel the day is gone. I didn't do anything.
Oh, really?
Yeah. If you come home, you will find me doing some new doodle every day. So I love making patterns with a pen. So I'm doing a lot of pen work, and it really helps in developing your own creativity, and it is always a learning process. So as much as you do, you will be in practice, no matter how big designer you are or how creative you are. But that helps technically also.
But also she said to me, if you want to be a designer but you are not that much creative, so it's quite so you can to learn how to be. Do you agree with that statement or not? Because for me, I think it's something like from God, right? So it's all of us has different
honestly,
talents.
creativity has to be there definitely at certain point of time, and you can also learn things from the softwares, or you can go for technical classes and learn that thing. But end of the day, you have to have some creative ideas which you are going to implement through your technical process. So creativity, I think, is important for every designer.
I have another question about what do you like most of all in your profession, and what do you dislike, what you hate in your work? Tell us.
Well, to be very honest, I hate the deadlines like all other designers, I'm sure. But yes, at the same time, deadlines make you more professional, and you will become precise to what you actually want to do, what you actually want to portray. And everything I like about designing, honestly. But my most favorite part is when I conceive my design, when I make the mother design and doing the doodle work before getting into the digital format. So that's my favorite part of the whole designing process, when I do it with pen and paper, and that's it.
So deadlines, what is? But you think it's for? It can show the professionalism of designer than if he or she works on with deadlines, right? So,
Of course, yes, definitely.
because for my opinion, it's actually that is one of the most important things in the fashion designing, because it's always seasons. It's like you cannot place order later for 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
You can't. And the
otherwise
fashion
you cannot-
changes as well with the time. Because deadlines are very important. Like for now, I work as a freelance designer for a couple of years, and I feel I was always better when I was working with the studios, because there was the time schedule where I used to know that these are my working hours. I have to do it perfectly and within these hours. But now when I work from home, I have to really make myself confined in a room and behave like, okay, I'm in an office and I'm doing my work from here that way, so that I can sound professional, I can behave professionally. But that's pretty difficult. It's, I think the same thing, it happens with the deadlines as well, because if you don't have any deadlines, you will lose your connection.
Yeah, that's true. I agree. Even for us, if you don't sell something on time, we just will not place order.
But yes, serving to the deadlines are difficult.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, now I have another questions about famous Indian designers. Tell us, introduce a few of them, because for me it's quite extraordinary, something interesting. I actually cannot remember any names. So tell us please some names, and what do you think, what is the main reason for their success?
Well, for Indian designers, they're just uncountable. But still, if I have to tell some name, there should be Ritu Kumar, there should be Manish Malhotra, Tarun Tahiliani, and no wonder Rohit Bal. There are so many, and currently the very young designer who is doing wonderfully well throughout the world is Sabyasachi. And all the designers have their own particular characteristic for their wonderful artwork, what they present. So if we start with Ritu Kumar, she's the, you can say, the pioneer for textile art, and she uses all the ancient block prints, the very traditional one, in her own signature line, and she makes the block print. She uses the traditional methods to create her designs, and followed by Rohit Bal. He is considered to be the one of the best designers in the world, I would say, because he is a person who works wonderfully with the material velvet, and on that he works with Zardozi and very rich embroideries, and makes just the very gorgeous outfits. So
but they are famous abroad or just inside of India? Because for me, I really didn't hear those names before.
Okay.
So if they are popular, maybe it's more in USA or somewhere, because it's live in the
Yes.
USA actually.
Yes,
So
I
that
would
is-
say, yeah, definitely, because India has a fashion, tradition for quite a long time. As I said, Ritu Kumar, she launched her own brand in, if I'm not mistaken, it is in 1970s, and then she started with her label in London, Paris, New York, and you can go and find Ritu Kumar as a signature name, and you can see lots of wonderful materials she works with, mainly the natural fabric, the silk, the cotton, the khadi. You must be knowing the khadi.
Yeah.
So that's these are the basic qualities, and yes, these designers have made it up to the world great, I must say. You can see the Sabyasachi, he makes all the outfits mostly for the VIPs and the Bollywood stars, and then some of them work with Hollywood as well. So it is not only made in India.
Yeah, so that is why I don't know that, because
Yeah,
I'm
I
not
think- I
VIP
think-
yet. So.
No, I think during 60s and 70s, or maybe a little later also, it was India was not much got much focus or limelight. So India was kind of away from all the so-called limelights from the fashion industry. So maybe that is another reason that their works didn't get so much appreciation from the general people.
But for me, it will be very interesting to check all those names, and I
Definitely,
will check their works on the internet. Okay, thank you. My next question is again about Indian design. What do you think it's now? It's more popular than it was like 10 or 20 years ago. Because for me, as I feel, it's like, for example, maybe in Russia, it's so popular. All yoga, Indian stuff,
But not the
etc.
designs.
But not the designs. But you know that that design, like people buy more something with Indian patterns maybe or something. It became like more popular. It became more like omnipresent. So I think
Yeah,
like everywhere you can find.
Yeah.
So what do you feel in general? It's Indian design. It's getting more and more popular than before, or how is it?
I think, in a way you are correct, because as I said, India didn't have that limelight or maybe the publicity what it was required that time. And these great designers used to cater to some particular clients or particular class, or, it was not for the mass. So maybe with that time, Indian design patterns have changed. It has become more fusion wear, where rest of the world can connect to their style, their approach with Indian style. I feel earlier when we were like born, or maybe we were just a kid, Indian fashion was totally about the loud colors and very ethnic traditional patterns. It was very traditional attire like sari, salwar kurtas, like that. But then with the time, people started wearing more comfortable wear, and then Indian designers, yes, they started making the fusion wear, which were like awesome, and it is very much acceptable for everyone. And also I think we have incorporated quite a few pastel shades to our color palette, which are also great for all of us can connect to it.
Yes, and actually for me it's interesting, because I saw only maybe in India that women wear that traditional costume like on a
Sari
daily
and
basis.
yeah.
They just wear it on daily basis. And now if it's some modern girl, for example, they just normally wear jeans and still that tunic, which is very traditional.
Yeah.
So for me it's quite interesting, because look, we are in China now, so look around the Chinese. We cannot find anyone in like, I don't know, Sipao that is traditional. Only maybe waiters in good hotels or something. But in India it's like part of life. How you keep that tradition till now?
It's mainly the positive side of our, it is there in our blood that we are blessed with it, that we can, wear the sari and still we can work everything everywhere. We are doing the bike rides, we're doing so many odd things which can't be expected to do with a sari on. But on the other hand, of course, people are opting for the kurti on top of the jeans maybe. You can see I'm also wearing a pure Indian attire, but it is very much into fusion. So it's very comfortable. I feel like I'm wearing, a plain pant with a long kurta or something. So this combination has become really popular these days, because it has some Indian traditional sentiment, I would say, with a very modern approach. So that's why it is manageable, and that's why people are accepting it.
So Mimi, thank you so much for coming today. It was very interesting conversation.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Ребята, спасибо вам большое, что вы были с нами. У нас сегодня куча технических неполадок была. Я приношу за это свои извинения. У нас тут тайфун нас посетил, и в связи с этим некоторые трудности возникли. Спасибо вам большое, что были с нами. До новых встреч. Татьяна Шерстнева, Текстайл Про. Всего доброго. До свидания.